What if I told you for $240 you could buy a watch from a micro brand that's been around for more than 20 years, that only puts together and releases and sells 20 watches per month, that are hand assembled by the brand owner himself, that gives you accuracy of the movements that is guaranteed because they are checked and adjusted, but they also come with enamel dials and heat treated blue hands, all for that $240. Hello, you're watching James. My name's James. You're watching me, and I am talking about watches. And I'm talking about a micro brand that is based in Hong Kong, that has been around for more than 20 years, that hand assembles their own watches. And obviously, the brand owner himself not only does that, but he loves watches. When I reached out to him recently talking about this SC-03 that I had seen online, he came back to me with all sorts of information, and you could see the enthusiasm from him about watches and his own brand. And that is actually quite unique. I speak to quite a few brand owners or different watch companies, and you get different levels of responses, but to have such a passionate response and so much information about his watches, it was nice to see, and you could see that he really cares about these watches. And when you look on his website, you'll see that there is a real set design language between multiple models. And when I did look on that website and looked at all the different models, well, there's quite a few that really stand out to me. And some of the things that do stand out to me is, well, the cost of them. They're all relatively affordable, like quite affordable. You can see that they are all sort of designed in a similar style, but it's the SC-03, which is probably one of the more basic variations that stood out to me first, and it is the first one that I wanted in my collection. When I was talking to the brand owner about this, well, he was nice enough to say that he would be happy to send one of them out to me to not only feature in this review, but also I get to keep it and have it in my own collection. Now, that is of course why you would see that sponsored icon earlier in this video, and I'm going to leave a link directly to his website. And it really is worthwhile checking out their website because you'll see that the prices are super reasonable, but the watches look really cool, and there's lots of different variations of designs too, chronographs and all other different variations. But I really wanted to check this one out first because, well, I think it's a classical design, and it's a classical design that makes me want to even dress up when I wear it. But it only just arrived yesterday, and I was so excited about this one, both at it arriving but also now having on wrist, that I wanted to share with you my first impressions of it. So when this watch from Perpetual arrived, they were nice enough to supply a couple of spare straps with it as well to show me and show you guys what can come with it. It comes in this nice sort of leather pouchette with the watch in there. And when I was first looking at this, I have to say the enamel dial was certainly something that attracted me. The general looks of this one, the blued hands, and that story behind this watch and this watchmaker. The watchmaker or the brand owner actually assembling and putting these watches together and only doing a few of them or a select handful of them per month really drew to me to this particular brand. But when the watch itself arrived, there were 5 things that stood out to me. And the first thing had to be those hands. Firstly, the shape. I think that they are very cool shaped hands, but I do just love heat-treated blued hands because they look black, they look blue, they look black, they look blue. Oh, yeah, it's the simple things really. The next thing that really struck me as soon as I opened it was just how wide the bezel was. And initially I thought, oh, is that a little bit too wide? Is that dominating the look of the watch? But then I put it on wrist and I wore it for about an hour. And after that hour, I then suddenly realized it does become part of the design, but it actually suits the design. It's funny how initial reactions can be one thing, and then very quickly it then changes because I wouldn't want to see it without that bezel now. I think it actually suits and looks really good. And something that I do love, and I haven't seen it too many times, is the spring bars. Well, in fact, there's no spring bars. It's these large bars with screws on either side. So it's almost like a bolt through the lugs onto the strap. It's a cool feature, something that I like, and I think it really adds to the design, especially a design like this. And I'm going to say it is a super legible watch. Those black blue hands on a white enamel dial with black markings on there. Very easy to read. And as soon as I put this one on, something slightly unexpected happened. Look how low it sits down on my wrist. I thought this might be quite a flat design, so it might sit up a little bit high, but not at all. It really feels like I'm wearing a new vintage watch. This one feels classy and well made, and I love that the brand owner is so heavily involved in the construction and putting this watch together and communicating with me. And now I just like wearing it. In fact, it actually makes me want to dress up so I can wear this one and feel a little bit fancy. So this one is going to be in my collection. I'm going to be wearing this one. I'm looking forward to actually having some time with it, playing around with the straps, the different straps that they gave me. There is a sailcloth strap in a dark blue, which I think will suit the blue really nicely, and this mesh strap. Now, the brand owner actually spoke to me about this one, saying it might be a slightly weird option, but he thinks it works really well on the watch. So I'm definitely going to give this watch some time on all the straps and maybe even try out some of my straps too. And then when I've got some more comfort factor with it, when I feel like I really understand this watch, I'll be circling back to do a full review. But in the meantime, maybe you could watch a couple of my other videos next.